G'day guys, Jamie here with Airborne Solutions. Hey, we just got the RevoSling out and we thought we'd just show you all the tips and tricks and how to get started with it, and yeah, show you a few features of it. You'll need obviously your sling there, and we've just got it tied on with a rope, and you'll need your hook as well. That's a big part of it. So we've just got our hook set up here, and we've also got 3 containers here, all weighed out, 20 kilos on the dot. That's for your calibrating. That's if you want to know your weight while you're in the air. I'd recommend doing that. Without further ado, we'll go right arrow, top right, and then we'll go down to the payload system, and we'll switch it to transportation mode. RevoSling with the smart hook, yep, sweet as. And then it will ask you to bind the hook straight away. And we just tried it before, and I didn't check firmware. So if you're having trouble, check your firmware first. And then for connecting, you just want to have the hook nearby the drone, and you want to tap and then hold down for 3 seconds, and you'll see a yellow light flashing on the hook, and then you'll hear a beep afterwards, and the two should be connected. And as you see on the screen here, I've got my hook connected with battery level 29%. Perfect. My rope length, so as standard, the rope length is 15 meters out of the box. So yeah, we've got 15 meters, sweet as, and aerial load weighing. So we'll go through that now. So if we tick it on, we want to be able to calibrate it like so. So you can see it requires calibration. So we'll do a weight calibration. We'll do that right now. Keep it rolling, Max. So I'll pull out my containers like so. As I said, we weighed them out perfectly to 20 kilos each. Grab the third one. So when it asks me what weight I've got on the end of the hook, I know what information to feed it. So just had to grab another piece of rope. Mine wasn't quite long enough. And so for the calibration, you'll need at least 50 kilos. So thus we've gone for 60, just to make it a little bit more accurate. Put that through. Sweet. So we've got our containers there. We'll hook them up to the sling like so. Just a cool little extractor part you can get away from. And we'll stand back in accordance with our manual here, and we'll fire her up. Right, so we're standing back quite far away from the drone, and we're going to start our weight calibration. So it says here, during the weight calibration, the drone will take off twice, once with no payload and once with a payload. So we'll go to calibrate and see what it says. Sure, the drone is an aerial suitor. Wind force below 3, drone battery must be no less than 30%. Pair a payload of at least 50 kilograms. See, so we'll go to calibrate. So we want to do a fly on the calibration first, so I'm going to run back and I'm going to take the hook off. Rightio, area safe. We'll take off. And it recommends here having it off the ground, and it says we can start flying the calibration, so we'll start it. Sweet, that's the fly only calibration. So we'll place the hook down next to the containers there. Just land off to the side. Sweet, I'll run over, hook it up. And it asks us here to enter our payload weight. So we'll put 60 kilos. Perfect. And then we'll take off. We'll start the calibration. So you just want to lift it up very gently. So you see the rope starting to raise now. So I'm just going to hover it overhead. Make sure it picks up the item straight so you can see them a bit off-centered. So I'm going to bring it back over. And then I'm going to give it the beans. Just going to lift it up. Just hover it in place and then start payload calibration. You'll notice the noise is a lot different. Sweet. Calibration's done. You can see, I don't know if you can hear it in the camera there, but the note change when it releases the payload is quite substantial. Sweet, that's pretty much your RevoSling set up there, guys. You could see that when I was landing there, it had the payload displayed. So the aerial weighing's done, that's awesome. And now we can show you sort of the features here. So we've got record route, so round trip. So this is actually just going to record your route as it goes, and then when you replay it, it's going to do exactly what you did back. So if you go left to pass a tree and then you go right around something else and you change height, it's going to record all that data. So when it comes back, it follows exactly the same path and exactly the same heights. So we'll have a look at it. So we're going to go loading, unloading point would be our point A. And it says here, press L3 to mark point A and start recording. So L3, your button right there. So we'll give it a crack. Remember, just take it easy on the ascent. Lift it up as straight as you can. And best practice would be to mark your L3 while it's in the air still. We've done trials with it where it comes into land at the end. It just does it a bit too fast. So we'll just do point A there. Right, so we've marked point A, and then I'm going to fly along. Like so, and I'm going to go to the left here. I'm going to climb a little bit, and then I'm going to come to the right. And let's say my guy's over here, so I'm going to hover it about 5 meters above his sight there. Like so, and then I'm going to hit point B there. And press R3 to mark point B. Sweet as. And now if I want to go to point A, I just have to long press L3, and it follows the exact same route back. So we go, it says, oh sorry, it gives me my routes here, length, difference, and now it will just go back to point A. So pretty cool if you're doing drop-offs in the same area every time. You see here it's lifting up back to its height, and now it's going to cruise back at the same way I did it. And then it's going to put itself into a hover there and let me take over. So I'll take over now. So yeah, that's the A to B point marking, and it lets you save routes, and you can do longer routes. And this is all the parameters that you can choose as well. The other one is target point transportation. So next one we have is target points. So we're going to go in. You see that on the left hand side there, that little circular with a pin in the middle of it, and then you can go and place target points. So I've just put in a bunch in one spot, which you don't do. 1, 2, 3, like that sort of thing. 1, 2, and 3, yep. And you can get guys to point this down with a XAG P150 as well. So those are all our points like so, and it lets me choose what point to go to, and it tells me how do I want to get to that point, so I can adjust that line like so. Can tell it what altitude I want it to fly at. So it says here, please set an appropriate height based on the rope. So current rope length is 15 meters. So I want to be, 30 meters for that. Flight speed. Long cuts, you could probably get away with your 13.8s, but if you're just doing stuff around the place, I'd definitely limit yourself a little bit just to keep it a safer operation. And then the return to home, it's similar to like how you recorded the routes before, so how you flew to the block is how it's going to fly back, which we'll use for most of that. So yeah, that's the point-to-point sort of routing. You can just pick the point, select how it goes to it, and then you take off. We'll do an example, I suppose. So we'll pick number 2 there, and we'll pick that it's going to go that way around to it. So I'm just going to do it without the weights this time. So like so, then I want it to go to, say, the point 2 there, and that's the route that I've set for it. It's going to climb up to that 30 meters. And follow that route to the block. So a quick sort of automated way of doing it. And then it's just going to hover over that point there, and then I control it from there. So once it's in the hover, and I can control it, land, and then I can choose to send it back home the same way. So say if I went return to home now, it's just going to follow the exact route that it came in from. Pretty nifty if you've got maybe like 4 or 5 different spots that you're sending out to, but it's the same spot every time. And then again, it gets to the hover and it lets me take over. Sweet. We'll stop there and go to the XAG P150. Right, so I've lost my filmmaker here, so I'm going to have to do this with myself. So this is all about the XAG P150 and placing a point, a transportation call point. So you can see here in the app, I've got the transportation call, the XAG P7H. You will need a SIM card in it and you'll need cell reception, so it might not work all the time, but this is just another feature that you can use if you've got the chance to. You can exit out of that, and I've got my technical guru over there. I don't know if you see in the blue ute, just right about there. Maxi, who's got the XAG P150, and I'm going to go, you can see on the green dot on the map there, that's where he is. So I'm going to go into the points, make sure I'm using the XAG P7H, which I am, and then I'm going to give him the yellow thumbs up. And you can see there, it's just appeared onto the screen. So now all we got to do is take the drone off. So face track enabled. Rightio, so just like the transportation settings we did before, I'm going to take the drone off. and easily. And I'm going to select point number 1, and I'm going to tell it how to get to it. Squiggly line there, squiggly line there. Height above call point, 20 meters is good. 15 meter rope length's what we still got, yep. And we're going to go start operation. So now it's going to head to the target point. So this is how I've told it to on the map. And it's going to hover right over that point that Maxie gave me, and then I can drop it down to whatever height required. In the ideal world here, lock it up, hook it up, and then I could return it back. So then I'll just go hold down the home button and return it to home. And it's going to lift up, back up to the height, and return that same way. So a cool feature, don't know if we'd use it heaps, because of course you have to have that cell reception. But just so you need another feature of the sling. And last one we'll show you is the hook. Righto, we're gonna see the hook release. So we'll take the drone off in the paddock here. So we're up, hook's on, and we're going to fly it over to a point here. We're actually going to fly it closer to us because I think that's no point of going back over there to sort out what we can. So we'll bring it relatively close to us. Drop it like so, open the hook up, see it releases, and I can fly away. How good? Rightio guys, if you have any more questions, want to know more about these drones, get in contact 06870 4030.